Hey guys, welcome back to Kristen Live Acres. In today's video, I'm going to give you some ideas of how to prepare for bugging out and the importance of doing a survival field study. So let's just get right into it. It's really important to know how to use the items in your bug out bag or your bug out vehicle, whatever it is you have prepared, stashed, and ready to go. The time to prepare is now. You can't wait till shit hits the fan to start going out and trying to find everything you need. Not only in a panic situation do you not want to be at the store and out in crowds, but there might not be the supplies that you need to get. I mean, they might be out of stock, not on the shelves. Time is now to prepare. Survival skills really need to be in place and continually practiced in order to sustain life when an SHTF situation were to happen. And it doesn't mean that it has to be, a world war or anything to do with the current state of the government. It could be a natural disaster. It could be an EMP, whether it was done intentionally from another country or, when the grid goes down, you need to know how to use the items you've purchased in order to survive. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing that we want to go over is water filtration. You need clean water. Do you own a water filtration system? A Life Straw, a Sawyer filter? Do you know how to use them? Have you practiced using them? Do you know how to go to a natural water source and see if the water is potable and not full of bacteria to where you're not going to make yourself and whoever's with you sick? These are very important things to consider, and I caught myself in this situation where, I've been camping for weeks, out in the middle of nowhere. I've been through hurricanes, all kinds of earthquakes, all kinds of natural disasters. And so I felt pretty prepared for most of what could come at me to my ability. And then when the world started going a little crazy, I decided to add a few things to my survival kit, my bug out bag, whatever you want to call it. And I realized that there can be some little kinks and things. There can be, it's not like when you're out there, if the water filter has a malfunction that you can just Google or YouTube how to fix it. There's not going to be any communication. So it's very important to learn how to use the equipment you have. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, a trauma kit. Not a little first aid kit with Band-Aids and Neosporin and hydrogen peroxide. I'm talking about a trauma kit, a full kit that deals with all kinds of severe emergencies, pneumothorax, hemothorax, from gunshot wounds or however they may have got that. CPR training. Do you know how to decompress a needle? Do you know how to apply a tourniquet? These are all things you really need to know how to do in the case of an emergency, which it will be if you've had to leave your bug-in location and bug out. Number 3, personal protection. If you own a firearm, have you used it? Have you practiced with it? Do you have good aim? Are you able to fix any malfunctions it may have? Do you know how to clear a jam? Do you know how to use a bow and arrow? A knife? There's so many different things. There's tasers, stun guns, pepper spray. You have to use these things in order to be able to defend yourself, because when you're in a situation when you're panicked and fear has overtaken you, you can't just whip one out that's brand new, take the plastic off and read the instructions. You need experience and practice in order to protect yourself. Number 4, do you know how to track an animal while hunting for food? Do you know how to fish? Do you know how to tie a line if you don't have the proper things to fish with? Do you know how to set a trap or make a trap out of things from nature? Do you know how to forage for food, find non-poisonous berries, leaves, tree bark, bugs, etc.? It seems like all of this is very simple until you're put in that situation and you don't have the experience. You won't make it. So I'm not trying to fearmonger. I just want you to know the importance of how these things need to be used in practice so that it's like a, second nature to you. You just need practice. If that is the only thing you get out of this video. Practice, practice, practice. Number 5, shelter. Do you know how to build a shelter? Do you know where to build it? Where to locate your spot where you'll be safe in order to start building it? Do you know what type of shelter to build depending on where you live? Do you know how to make a ridge line? If you're not familiar with the ridge line, it is the 2 points. Hi, Poppy, you want to be in the video? It's the 2 points between... Alright. Hollow, I don't think they want you in the video. So if you're not familiar with a ridge line, it's basically a suspension system that holds you above the ground. So it's generally made with paracord between 2 trees. Do you know how to use a ham radio or a 2-way radio? And do you know the local frequencies for the spot you plan to bug out in? Do you know how to tie knots? And do you know which knots are appropriate for different situations? Can you start a fire? What if everything's wet? Do you know how to protect the fire from high winds? Not only from it going out, but from starting a fire in your area and drawing attention to yourself or catching your supplies on fire. Number 7, do you have a compass and do you know how to use it? Very important when you're out in the wilderness. It can so easily happen that you kind of lose track of your bearings, especially because it's not somewhere that you are very often, or maybe you've never been there at all. Number 8, whatever food you have packed or stashed for your bug out bag vehicle, what have you, whether it's MREs or canned food, have you tried to cook them? Number 9, do you have a small portable camp stove? Number 6, preferably one that would fit in a backpack, like for say you might want to look up like hiking camping stoves. And have you used it? Number 10, do a field test. Take your family out for a weekend, whether it's at your bug out location if you already have one selected, or just somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, and do a field study. Only take the things that you already have stashed or packed for, the real emergency. Don't take anything extra, and use all of it and test it out and see if there's any malfunctions or anything critical maybe that you're missing. Maybe something has a hole in it or doesn't work properly. If you just bought it, stuck it in the bag, maybe didn't even take it out of the box, you're not going to know what the essentials are until you actually put yourself in that position. So, in my opinion, the only way to properly ensure that you will survive is to test your gear and have the knowledge of how to use it. Now, by all means, these are not the only things that you should do, but these are the top 10 things that I believe will help you survive in an emergency situation. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be posting another one very soon, so check back. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Of course, I would love if you would subscribe and share it with someone you know. Till next time, bye.